That ended abruptly. Hey everyone, sorry I'm a little bit late on this Facebook Live. I was actually on the telephone with a client, and of course being on the telephone with a client is the most important thing when your clients are the source of your revenue. So welcome along to this Facebook Live on Friday. This is something that I'm going to hopefully do every week if I get the chance, if I'm not too busy on client calls, to help get across some things that I've found out in the world of social media this week. So we're going to cover a couple of things this week, and I've hopefully got a little display here, so this will hopefully be okay. But feel free to ask any questions you like in the comments, and I'll answer them as we do the broadcast. But if you're watching this on the replay, again, just add a comment and I shall obviously get a notification and gratefully respond to you. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is Pinterest. And for those of you that have been on my social micro course, you'll know that one of the things I talk about is how on Pinterest, portrait pins actually generate a greater level of engagement with the people, with your audience. And I just wanted to explain why that is, if you hadn't already realised. So what I actually want to do is, I'm just going to go to Pinterest itself, and hopefully you can see that on my page. I'll get out of shot if I need to. So this is obviously Pinterest, and what you'll notice when you look at Pinterest is that you have different columns containing all the different pins. And if we take this one here, this cute little baby, you know, you can see it's a nice little square size, and that's great. But then compare that to something like this, and this on the right about the DIY DJ, you can tell which pins are taking up more real estate on the screen. So guess what? Pins like this, or this one here, which is a collage but essentially one pin, that's taking up much more of the real estate on the screen. So it's naturally grabbing a lot more attention from the audience member. And therefore, if you're using Pinterest, what you should be looking to do is actually create pins with a portrait image. Now, if you're used to using things like Snapchat or Periscope, then you'll be used to seeing things in portrait rather than landscape, but we mostly take pictures in landscape actually, and we're very used to, on blogs, for example, putting horizontal images. So portrait is the way to go. Looking at an example of how people use that, so Social Media Examiner is one of the best websites for us in the social media world, and this is one of their articles on their webpage. It's actually about social media visuals, incidentally. But here we've just got images that are on the page, and if you've got a Pinterest plugin, you can pin any one of these. But what social media actually do is at the very bottom of each article, and I'm sorry you can't see that, so let me bring that into shot. At the bottom of each article, they put on a portrait image, and that is so anyone who reads the articles and wants to pin the article to one of their boards, they can choose a portrait image from the article, and then that will gain more interest on Pinterest. So a very deliberate tactic there. So think about that, because if you want people to be looking at your pins, then you need to be looking to put portrait images on. Okay, so what exactly should you do? Let me just resume this. See how I'm doing it as a slideshow? Brilliant. Oh, not even on it. There we go. Right, so perfect image size. Again, I'll bring that into shot. So perfect image size is 735 across and about 1104 long. And that's a ratio of 2 to 3. So it can be 735 by 735 if you want to square. They're all 735, or they'll be reduced to 735. So if you can do a ratio of 2 to 3, then that's ideal. You can make it much longer, but always 735 in width. Okay, what else have we got in terms of social news? Well, this week we saw a rebrand of Instagram, and the internet went into meltdown, particularly in social media circles, people not liking it. What does it actually mean? Not a great deal, I'm afraid. We've got some nice new branding, and that's about it. In terms of the functionality of Instagram, it's not changed, not that I can see anyway. So nothing really for you to do. It is slightly cleaner, slightly fresher in terms of how it looks, and someone did say to me means that your images need to be a lot better. But I can't really see that it needs to be any better. So there we go. So that's what Instagram have done this week. Also, Periscope news. If you are doing Periscope and you're doing live streams, then Periscope will very shortly allow you to save your scopes past the 24-hour mark, which is the current length of time that you can save your Periscopes. So you can use that to repurpose your content elsewhere, embed it, do whatever it is that you want to do with it. That's great if you do a fantastic scope. You can keep that, and of course it matches what you can do here on Facebook Live. You'll also be able to do, this is exciting, scopes using a drone, if you've got a drone. Ooh. So that's quite exciting, being able to take a third-party device and fly into the air and take some fascinating shots of your neighbours sunbathing, perhaps. But yeah, that's the Periscope news. Finally, before I go and end this social media weekly update, I couldn't help but take the opportunity to promote a new Blab show that me and my good friend Dan G. Rice are doing every Wednesday at 5 o'clock in the afternoon UK time on blab.im. Search for the Startup Toolbox. Woohoo, exactly, Daniel. It's going to be amazing. We've done a pilot show and just to test it out, but the purpose of this show on Blab is to do a live streaming show where anybody can call in and ask questions about what it's like to be a startup, what it's like to start your own business. Both Dan and I have done this and we're still finding our feet. We're not the experts by any means, but if we can share some of our experiences, share our story, then that's all good. We'll be looking at a tool of the week, perhaps, that has some real benefit to you in your business, whether it's an image app or maybe it's a productivity app or something like that. We'll bring that to you. So if you're interested in that, go to Blab and we'll see you at Wednesday at 5 o'clock. Okay, that's all for now. Have a great weekend. Hope you've enjoyed the broadcast. If there's any topics that you want me to cover for next week, then leave a comment in the comments box and we'll try and sort that out. Until then, bye for now. Have a great weekend.